Was Mars once like Earth? The untold story of a lost world. Can you imagine standing on the surface of Mars, feeling the warmth of the sun, watching rivers flow through deep valleys, and hearing the sound of waves crashing on a distant shore? It may sound like a fantasy, but billions of years ago, Mars was not the dry, desolate wasteland we see today. Scientists have uncovered overwhelming evidence that Mars once had rivers, lakes, and even a vast ocean. The planet had a thick atmosphere, clouds that brought rainfall, and possibly even conditions suitable for life. But then, something went terribly wrong. Mars lost its protective shield. Its atmosphere thinned, temperatures plummeted, and its water vanished. The once thriving planet transformed into the barren, frozen desert we see today. But here's the real mystery. Could Mars have supported life? And if so, did anything survive underground? Even more importantly, can we bring Mars back to life? To answer these questions, we must travel back billions of years and uncover the lost history of the red planet. If we could turn back time by 3 to 4 billion years, Mars would look completely different. Its surface was sculpted by flowing rivers, vast lakes, and massive ocean that may have covered nearly a third of the planet. One of the biggest pieces of evidence supporting this theory is the presence of river valleys and deltas, which are strikingly similar to those found on Earth. These valleys suggest that Mars once had a water cycle just like Earth, where rivers flowed, lakes formed, and rainfall replenished the system. NASA's Curiosity rover and the Perseverance rover have found undeniable proof that Mars's surface was once rich in clay minerals, which can only form in the presence of water. These discoveries suggest that liquid water existed on Mars for millions of years, meaning it wasn't just a short-lived event, it was a stable environment. Even more astonishing, some craters on Mars appear to have once been life, filled with fresh water that could have supported life. The Gale crater, where the Curiosity rover landed, contains layers of sediment that resemble those found at the bottom of lakes on Earth. These layers tell a story of a planet that once had a climate stable enough to sustain liquid water for extended periods. But for all this to be possible, Mars needed something crucial: a thick atmosphere. Today, the Martian atmosphere is thin, cold, and mostly made of carbon dioxide. But billions of years ago, it was likely much denser and contained gases like nitrogen and oxygen, making it warm enough for liquid water to exist. So, what happened? The answer lies in Mars' magnetic field, or rather, its disappearance. On Earth, our strong magnetic field acts like an invisible shield, protecting our atmosphere from being stripped away by solar wind, a constant stream of charged particles coming from the sun. Mars once had a magnetic field, but for reasons still debated by scientists, it shut down billions of years ago. Without this shield, the sun's powerful radiation began stripping away Mars' atmosphere little by little. Over millions of years, the once thick atmosphere thinned out, temperatures dropped, and water began to evaporate or freeze. With its atmosphere nearly gone, Mars lost its ability to hold on to heat, turning it into the cold, dry world we see today. But this raises an even bigger question. If Mars had liquid water for millions of years, could life have existed there? The presence of water doesn't just mean a habitable planet, it means the potential for life. On Earth, wherever we find liquid water, we find life, even in the harshest environments like deep sea hydrothermal vents or frozen Antarctic lakes. If Mars once had long-standing lakes and rivers, then it had all the right ingredients for microbial life to evolve. Scientists have already found organic molecules in Martian soil, which are the basic building blocks of life. More importantly, they have detected methane gas in Mars's atmosphere. On Earth, methane is mostly produced by living organisms. Could this be evidence of life beneath the surface? There is a theory that if life ever existed on Mars, it might have survived underground where conditions are more stable, protected from harsh radiation and extreme cold. NASA's future missions aim to drill deep beneath the surface in search of hidden microbial life. But what if Mars isn't completely dead? What if we could bring it back to life? The idea of terraforming Mars, changing its environment to make it habitable again, is one of the most ambitious concepts in space exploration. Scientists and visionaries like Elon Musk believe that with the right technology, we could increase Mars' temperature, restore its atmosphere, and make it a second home for humanity. So, how could we do it? Some ideas include releasing greenhouse gases to trap heat and warm the planet, detonating nuclear bombs over Mars ice caps to release trapped CO2 and jumpstart a greenhouse effect, placing giant space mirrors to reflect sunlight onto Mars, or introducing Earth's toughest bacteria to produce oxygen over thousands of years. While these ideas sound futuristic, they could become reality within the next century. But before we terraform Mars, we need to take the first step, sending humans there. NASA and private companies like SpaceX are actively working on plans to send humans to Mars. SpaceX's Starship, the world's most powerful spacecraft, is being developed to carry people to the Red Planet in the next 2 decades. Once we arrive, survival won't be easy. Mars is a harsh world with dust storms, freezing temperatures, and high radiation levels. To live there, we'll need to build underground cities, grow food in sealed habitats, and develop life support systems. But if we succeed, it will be the first step towards something far greater, becoming a multi-planetary species. Mars may look dead today, but it still holds the echoes of its past. Rivers once carved their way through its valleys, oceans once touched its shores, and perhaps, just perhaps, life once thrived in its depths. The real question isn't whether Mars was once like Earth, it's whether it could be Earth again. Could humanity bring Mars back to life? Could we one day walk on its surface? Not in space suits but in open air under a blue sky. The future of Mars isn't written yet, it's waiting for us. The disappearance of Mars's atmosphere, a planet left defenseless. Imagine a world where blue skies once stretched endlessly over vast oceans, where rivers carved deep canyons, and where an atmosphere thick with life-giving air kept the planet warm and vibrant. That world was Mars, billions of years ago. But then something catastrophic happened. The sky faded to red, the air thinned, the waters dried up, and the planet slowly turned into the lifeless desert we see today. Mars didn't just lose its water, it lost something even more important, its protective shield, the very thing that made its once thriving world possible. Mars's atmosphere is now a ghost of what it used to be, a thin veil of carbon dioxide barely clinging to the planet's surface. But long ago, it was different. Scientists believe Mars once had a thick atmosphere composed of nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and possibly even oxygen. This atmosphere trapped heat, creating a stable environment where liquid water could exist for millions of years. The evidence lies in ancient river valleys, dried up lake beds, and even minerals found on Mars's surface. Minerals that can only form in the presence of liquid water and a dense atmosphere. But if Mars once had such a powerful atmosphere, where did it go? The answer lies in an invisible force that shields our own planet, Earth's magnetic field. Here on Earth, a powerful magnetic field surrounds our planet, acting as an invisible barrier against the sun's deadly solar wind. This solar wind is a stream of charged particles constantly flowing from the sun, capable of stripping away atmospheres if they are left unprotected. Earth's strong magnetic field keeps our air locked in place, shielding us from this cosmic threat. But Mars wasn't so lucky. Billions of years ago, Mars had its own magnetic field just like Earth's, but then, for reasons still debated by scientists, this magnetic shield suddenly collapsed. Some believe that Mars's smaller size caused its molten core to cool faster than Earth's, shutting down the internal dynamo that powered its magnetic field. Others suggest a massive asteroid impact could have disrupted the planet's internal structure, permanently disabling its ability to generate a protective shield. Whatever the cause, the result was catastrophic. With its magnetic field gone, Mars was left defenseless. The sun's relentless solar wind began stripping away the planet's atmosphere, molecule by molecule, year after year, until only a thin, fragile layer remained. Over millions of years, the pressure dropped, temperatures plummeted, and the once thick air that supported liquid water disappeared into space. The vast oceans began to evaporate. The rivers dried up, and the lakes turned to ice. Mars was dying. NASA's MAVEN, Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution mission has provided direct evidence of this atmospheric loss. Scientists have measured the rate at which Mars' atmosphere continues to be stripped away today, proving that without a magnetic field, Mars simply couldn't hold on to its air. The transformation was slow but relentless, turning a once habitable world into the barren, freezing wasteland we see now. But here's the biggest question. Was this the end of Mars' potential for life? Or could something have survived hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered? Scientists believe that while the surface of Mars became hostile, underground environments might have remained stable. Could life have taken refuge deep within the planet, where warmth and liquid water might still exist? Mars' atmosphere may be thin today, but its past speaks of a world that was once alive with possibilities, and if we understand why Mars lost its atmosphere, we might uncover the secrets to restoring it. Could we reignite Mars's magnetic field? Could we rebuild its atmosphere and bring back its lost rivers and oceans? The idea might seem impossible, but some of the greatest minds on Earth believe that with the right technology, Mars could once again become a world full of life. The disappearance of Mars' atmosphere was one of the greatest planetary tragedies in our solar system's history. But what if it wasn't the end of the story? What if it was just the beginning of something even greater, something waiting for us to rewrite?